Welcome back, Boom is here and we're now using a old meta deck called Childe Double Pyro Hyper Carry deck that before uses a food engine, but this time we're using it with Jeht. Since Jeht is kinda OP this version and generating a lot of dice after burst will ensure our win. So let's go. Our deck goals here is to make Yoimiya burst early, but since our dice will not allow it, we can either use a skill, then followed by normal attack, and the remaining dice will be used for a live and ramp up.
Fire hazard.
And now for opponent. I think opponent plans to burst first with Layla. Then the cryo status will be swirled by Lynette, and in case any of them dies, Chichi will revive them since opponents uses Storm Terror Lair, so it's impossible that opponents not running a Chichi talent card. And I think that's all we can do for first round. So for our second round, since we got a star sign, I think we can get the burst early by doing a 1 normal attack followed by star sign and then burst. If opponent plans to kill Yoimiya, we will be able to have a free switch. If not, we can manually switch to Bennett. Layla just normal attack. But anyway, we can proceed with our shenanigans by doing Yoimiya normal attack and seeing, oh, we got a Vanessa. So I think we can now use the star sign later, and let's just use the lens, the Kujirai. I think we can use the Kujirai, then Tartaglia. Then let's see what we will be able to draw. Oh, another lens for free, but I don't think we can use bodyguard. So anyway, let's just proceed with Silly, and since we use now the Vanessa, we will now continue to normal attack. There. I realize since we got 2 stack of Silly, I think we can use the dice and tune the lens so that we can make Yoimiya burst. Then the remaining dice will be used on what we will be drawn using Silly. Okay, so we killed Layla, unable to burst. Okay, so we can use the last dice on Donya and replace Tartaglia with another Tartaglia. Oh, it's Jeht, so we got 1 Jeht now. And I forgot how many times we replace supports. But anyway, we will just keep replacing so that in case we got another Jeht. Oh, see, we get another Jeht. And this time our problem is how to make burst on a 3 energy character. On second thought, why do we need to make Childe burst so early? We can just choose to tune 1 so that we will be able to have access on wave since we still have the Yoimiya burst. Yeah, that's better, I think. We will just use the elemental skill of Childe, but for now let's just use the Jeht so that we know how many stacks we've got, oh, we got already 6. So I think we can just tune the extra support like the Weeping Willow and then proceed with Child skill. Then I need, I think, to tune one more for a charge attack since our dice is even and we will deal additional 1 damage on side character. At which one? I think I will tune Liben since Liben's kinda useless at this point of round. Well, I think the game is GG since I will just use Star Sign then burst on Chichi next round. Okay, so for the last dice, we can use Star Sign, then do a burst for handshake on Chichi. So let's use Star Sign for extra energy, also Chris for protection, and then this is it. Burst! Why? Didn't allow me. Anyway, for another game, which is another freeze deck, using a Mona Wanderer and a Chongyun. Usually, we don't see Chongyun but rather Eula. But this time it's Chongyun. So let's see if there's a difference. Our deck goes here is same with the last game, which is to make Child shine the most. But this time, let's focus on opponent. Okay, so opponent chooses a Paimon. And I assume, okay, another Paimon. So I assume opponent doesn't run any engine, but rather the traditional ramp up, which uses Paimon, Liben, and probably Vanarana for normal attacks or dice preserving for Wanderer. So I think opponent will use Mona to summon, then quick switch or fast action swap to Wanderers to distribute Hydrostatus, and after that Chongyun can freeze either Bennett or Childe since we will stay with Yoimiya. Let's try to counter that. Okay, so I think there, so we can use Vanessa first to get additional dice, which is another cringe for me. There, using Star Sign, gonna tune this Pyro Resonance. Okay.
Here come the fireworks!
Not yet burst for handshake. Okay, so opponent will, wow, leave it to me on Mona. Nice.
Squall and Fury.
Anyway, to avoid swirl, let's switch to
Need to end
Child.
a few enemies.
But I think I need to sacrifice the Bennett talent since we need additional, or we need Hydro Dice. So sacrificing, hoping it will be worth it. There. So what opponent's planning now? Oh, he plans to swirl again using elemental skill, and then the summon will apply Hydro to my Child. So Chongyun can now freeze either of the three. Okay. So there. So what we gonna do now? Oh, dice cringe. So what we're gonna do now? I think I'm gonna cast Tartaglia and use Lotus Crisp so that I will able to draw another card. Cause if we kill Mona, probably opponent will switch to Wanderer for burst. If not, switching to Chongyun, and Chongyun will freeze my Childe. So I think that's the thing we can do for this round. Okay, let's see what we've got in the silly. Okay, so we got a dice, Sunyata, and a Lotus Crisp. So what we can do is switch to Yoimiya since Childe is frozen. Then I think we can use the dice to cast the Willows, the Pyro dice I mean, since we got also Pyro dice, and the 2 remaining dice will be given to Liven for additional 2 Omni dice and draw for the next round. So I think that's a better way. So let's do this. Yeah. So another dice, using another dice.
Behold!
Since our hand card is less than 2, Weeping Willow will give additional 2 cards, and with that, we'll luckily draw a 2 Jeht. So I think it's clutch time since, oh, we got also the I haven't lost yet Ito card. Me thinking, oh, how can I think I can stall with Yoimiya. So I'm gonna use only skill. But first, let's set up my Jeht. I think it's better not to reveal it first. Yeah, I think it's better not to reveal it first. So I'm gonna use Yoimiya skill.
The fuse is lit.
Oh, that arcane card. Why do I feel that arcane card coincide to what we're planning? Since we want to stall, and yeah, I think this is it, and I think it's GG. We're gonna just switch to Childe, and if opponent doesn't have extra way or additional dice, it will be a GG. Okay, so okay, it's GG. I will just use Ito card, then I will use this to add additional more stock. Okay, so another Jeht. Then I will use a Pyro Resonance to increase my damage output by a verse. Once I use burst, I will gain a total of 7 dice with 1 remaining 8 dice, and that can be used for skill and another burst for Childe. So yeah, it's GG. Okay, I can do skill now, and then burst for handshake. So skill,
Bring it on!
killing Chongyun,
After all,
and next move is our favorite move. Oh no. So no. Hey, I'm trying to be casual here. So I think that's all. Bye.